Hey gang, guess what? It's National Comic Book Day. I just happened to see that while I was doing my Bing for the day, collecting my Microsoft points so I can get more free games that I'm never going to get to play through. So I got way too many piled up already that I haven't even really fully checked out. But I figured I haven't done a comic book review in a while. So I got a nice stack of comics that I've read over the past 2 weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to remember what they were about, mostly. And then I figured since it's National Comic Book Day, I'd look at. Oops, you barely fit your fat furry butt through the door. I left the door open a little ways so the cat could get in because I knew as soon as I started this video, he would come back home up on the hill partying. I got my little scary werewolf eyebrows going. Had a couple wings hanging off my head too. But that's mostly because my wife left me, so she's not around to clean me up. So she didn't leave me. Well, at least I don't think so. But she went back home to visit family for the first time in a long time. So I'm going to look scary as the videos go on over the next couple of weeks. A little bit scarier each day, probably, if I have a variety of videos planned to do over the next 2 weeks. So hopefully I will get them done. But since it's Freak or National Comic Book Day, hopefully this won't mess up my camera. I'm going to click over to some websites and read some stuff off. Hopefully the camera will still record while I'm doing that. I don't know. I've never tried that yet. See what happens. It's also another special day today, which is they're both decent to tie together. So talk about that one in a little bit, but let's look what they got for National Comic Book Day. On September 25th, National Comic Book Day honors the art, artists, and stories of comic books. Fans, collectors, readers, and artists come together to celebrate the day with events across the country. First popularized in the United States, comic books are also called comic magazines. Generally, comic books produce drawn, sequential, and opposing panels representing individual scenes. Each scene often includes descriptive prose and written narratives. When placed together, the panels form a complete story or a portion of a serial. Oh, we don't need to know about all that stuff. Mention about early comic books, but they don't give no good listings of them. One of the earliest known comics printed was The Adventures of Obadia Oldbuck. The 1842 hardcover comic book became the first known American comic book. I've heard of Obadiah, but I have not heard about that comic book, so I have to keep an eye out for that one. In 1896, Richard Felton drew a comic book magazine published in the United States featuring the Yellow Kid in a sequence titled McFadden's Row of Flats. The 196-page book featured black and white print and measured 5 by 7 inches. It sold for 50 cents. That's a lot of money back then. Back in those days, you had 5-cent comics and stuff, and that one sold for 50 cents. Holy shit. They made big bucks if they sold some of those. In 1933, a comic book, Famous Funnies, appeared in the United States. Many believed the work to be the first real comic book. The reprinting of earlier newspaper comic strips established many of the storytelling devices used in comics. They say how to observe National Comic Book Day. This dynamic art form continues to inspire artists and storytellers today. There are also so many ways to celebrate the day. Try sharing your collections and artwork to spread the love, attend a convention, visit a comic book store, Study the art of comic books, explore the styles and artistry, create your own comic book, read about the history and how the medium changed and evolved. Maybe you'll discover a great find. Learn about the careers of Steve Ditko, John Buscema, Kurt Swan, Carmine Infantino. Tell us who your favorite comic book artist or storyteller is. There's hashtag National Comic Book Day to post anything that you want on social media, so I'll post this up on there. Let's see, as far as National Comic Book Day history goes, they have a couple so-called frequently asked questions. What is a book-length comic book called? A graphic novel is a book-length book comprised of comics. What are the different types of comic books? Comic books come in as many genres as novels do. The genres also fall into both fiction and nonfiction categories. Some of them include action, adventure, biography, crime, fantasy, horror, historical, military, political satire, romance, superhero, and lots more nowadays. We got a lot of fun independent creators that are coming up with some wonderful, wild new ideas. So definitely one of the best times in comic book history, in my opinion. Does the calendar include other comic book related holidays? Yes. Comic books are also celebrated on Free Comic Book Day, which is usually every May, International Read a Comic Book in Public Day, and National 3D Day. So, there's some fun information there. See what this one talks about. 1842. That same one there. And they talk about the same stuff. In the 1960s, Marvel creates some of their major superheroes like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, etc. through comics. Late 1960s, underground comics were developed during this time, and they reflected youth and drug counterculture. Looks like they started this in 2020, and they do it on September 25th every year. That's probably the wife right there messaging me. She's running around with her sister and her nieces at the moment. She showed me her breakfast that her niece that likes to cook stuff posted a picture of that, and it was all kinds of donuts and coffee and treats, and like, yeah, that's a good breakfast for a bunch of. But she's on vacation, so she should be having fun and enjoying what she wants. Let's see. This site has celebrate National Comic Book Day 2023 with these must-read books. We got Understanding Comics: The Invisible Art by Scott McCloud. How to Read Nancy: The Elements of Comics in 3 Easy Panels by Paul Karisk and Mark Newgarden. The horror comic books the government didn't want you to read by Jim Trombetta. That one I'd like to check out. Marvel Comics: The Untold Story by Sean Howell. The Comic Book History of Comics by Fred Van Lent and Ryan Dunleavy. So these are all books about books, and I figured they'd put like some top comics from over the years. But Manga: 60 Years of Japanese Comics by Paul Gravett. Comics and Sequential Art Principles and Practices from the Legendary Cartoonist by Will Eisner. That man has a lot of variety of books. I just couldn't believe he's got some newer ones that I've seen and some older ones that are completely opposite from some of his other books. The opposite type of genre and thing he's things he's looking into and things from the past and stuff and historical events and things. I learned a lot over the last couple of weeks about Will Eisner. He's got quite the collaboration of books if you ever want to check that out. Completely Mad, A History of the Comic Book and Magazine by Maria Reidelbach. Words for Pictures, The Art and Business of Writing Comics and Graphic Novels by Brian Michael Bendis. What You Mean? What's a Zine? The Art of Making Zines and Mini Comics by Mark Todd and Esther Pearl Watson. I guess this is actually a lot of interesting stuff because I am currently following some stuff with Esther, so that's fun. And I'm big on zines. I guess maybe her name popped up with me because I think this weekend is a zine con type thing. I'm not sure where. I'm not gonna say a positive place. I want to say like maybe Cincinnati. No, Cincinnati's where some of the other guys like Art Baltazar, Scoot McMahon, and Franco and them guys are 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 out doing the cons at. Yeah, I can't. My MS brain's not letting me bring back all this stuff. And this is lots of stuff I just currently have been checking out and looking at, and of course my brain can't put it out there without having it in front of my face. Oh no, my computer is running low on storage space. That's not good. Hopefully we can get through this. We'll see what happens. Encyclopedia of Black Comics by Sheena Howard. The 10-Cent Plague, The Great Comic Book Scare and How It Changed America by David Hajdu. Yeah, there's some fun stuff for National Comic Book Day. And then the other one was One Hit Wonders. National One Hit Wonders Day. So I was going to go over some of the one hit wonders they had on this site, but I don't want to run out of video and time. I'm not sure. See if everything's still recording good. Looks like it. So I won't be able to go through all those. It's like they got Mercy Love, The Church Under the Milky Way. I'd have to hear these songs to even know them. The Knickerbockers Lies, The Floaters Float On. Yeah. I won't recognize a lot of those without hearing them, so check out some one hit wonders today if you are interested in that. We all love a good song that can stick in our head and you can't get it out of your brain for a couple days. But yeah. Hey, we will see what else we got here. Yeah, that should work for National Comic Book Day. Let's get to some comics before my timer runs out. All right, we got Deadpool Badder Blood. This is issue 3. The story is they got a nice little John Romita commemorative thing on the inside cover there. Him sitting doing his artwork with all his characters around him. This story is getting really fun. It's been fun. It's been a good follow up to Bad Blood, and it sounds like they're going to do Baddest Blood. But we got all kinds of Deadpool characters because Deadpool's kind of stuck in a simulator, and he keeps jumping to him in a different outfit, fighting a different style Deadpool or Deadpools or other creatures. I love this. There's a nice centerfold in this issue. It's just, yeah. Let's see. Deadpool is trapped in the virtual reality fight fest that is Kill Bill. But wait, let's back up. Deadpool's old high school pal Miles Ellison is now the ultimate destructive force known as Thumper, which is we haven't seen Thumper at all except for like the first issue. So looking forward to him making an appearance again. Deadpool has been hunting down Dr. Van Struten, the man behind Department H's refurb of Miles. Wolverine and Cable took in Van Struten just before Thumper could get to him and even stop DP from killing the Doc, revealing that Van Struten had turned over a new leaf. Thumper's goal was to force Van Struten to create an army of super soldiers just like him. DP set off to foil these plans, only to find himself caught up in the larger plans of Arcada and her enforcer known as Kill Bill. The fight with Kill Bill did not go well for Wade, as Kill Bill was able to drag Deadpool into a series of hyper-real and disorienting mindscape battle scenarios. As Deadpool awakens to find his former X-Force team missing on a mission, will he be able to pull himself together to escape Kill Bill's trap? Or is this real after all? Yeah, this is a fun story. Looking forward to the rest of it. 5-issue run. And like I said, I heard something about some Batterpool coming up, so we're going to get a third run with that. We have Elvira in Monsterland, issue 4. This issue, she jumps to a prehistoric type era or place where there just so happens to be a bunch of kaiju style characters. We get to see a lot of the Godzilla characters, and she's dealing with them as she tries to stop Vlad from collecting more and more characters to help him do his evil bidding. But previously, Elvira was enlisted by the space-time cops of Nova Zone Express to discover why Vlad the Impaler was raiding the multiverse of monsters and kidnapping creatures. So far, Vlad has made off with various vampires, a handful of Frankensteins and their monsters, a pack of wolfmen and werewolves. There is a difference. But now her travels have finally landed her in Monsterland. These have been so fun. These are follow-ups from other earlier little short runs that Elvira did, and it's just been a blast. We got Grimm Fairy Tales 2023 Swimsuit Special. They do their swimsuit specials right. They give you a nice little story to get you going, and then you get to see all the all the fun images they have with all their characters in different outfits and backgrounds. Just in time for summer comes the Grimm Fairy Tales 2023 Swimsuit Special. Get ready to check out all your favorite Grimm Universe heroines and villainesses soaking up the sun while wearing the season's hottest swimsuit fashions. Many of the industry's top artists contribute gorgeous pinups of the Grimm Universe's most popular female characters in a stunning collection. But our story goes to a certain island where we're dealing with some magic abled character, warlock type character that has a couple gals coming to pick up some supplies, but they have more things in mind to do with something that he has in his possession. And you got to read the story. It's a short story, but it was good. It was fun. They always are. But yeah, check that out. Our buddies Matt Fife and Matt Rogers got Happy Astronaut #1 finally came out, and this is the new #1 after they hooked up with Keenspot Entertainment. This is a fun space adventure where Happy and Hap just happen to travel into space. They're sent off by themselves. Hap is his little sidekick there. His little robot sidekick. Or Half. I call him Hap. But yeah, they're traveling through space, going to different planets, running into all kinds of interesting little beings and planets themselves. After the first issue and stuff, the first issue, there's just very interesting planets that Happy just happens to come across. But there's lots of great covers. I got more coming, of course. But these are the two I have in my hands right now. I got a blank downstairs, and I'm not sure. I might have got all 5 of these covers. So, more than likely. Like to support the guys, support our creators that come on our show, and check out Crimson Color Comic Club, where we have been bringing in more and more creators and talking to them, having fun interviews. And you can also, with that, there's going to be another comic coming up with another creator that they happen to have Cartoonist by Night. They do that podcast where they sit, draw, shoot the shit, talk about things. So check out that too. And then, of course, check out Under the Color of MS to get more of me. And you can catch me on Crimson Color Comic Club. Got Marvel Unleashed, issue number 1. I was looking forward to this because we have all our different Marvel pets, a good variety of them. And we meet a scrappy little dog that wants to be a superhero and finds a little mask in the garbage, and his little buddy sidekicks, or he hooks up with some buddies along the way, and they go by Alfred and stuff they're trying to hunt down one of the characters, masters, who just so happens might be a bad guy, or at least hanging out with bad guys. So they're checking that out, and it's a fun story. A little on the depressing side to start with. Just some little bummer stuff, but not too bad. But yeah, I was looking for a real happy animal critter story. I'm always looking for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. It's either 4 or 5 issues in that run. We got Octobriana and the Underground Full Tilt Boogie, part 2 of 2. This is fun. New character to me. I mentioned her. I talked about this issue number 1 of this, and another comic by her a little while back, but I like how they do this. It's split up it's got 3 different stories in here. They all kind of relate together nicely with our characters, but yeah, we get some really funky characters that she just has to deal with. And as you can see on the cover, we got a giant Russian evil being. And he has like a Bane moment there. She's going to break Octobriana's back. But yeah, these are fun. I love this character. Didn't know much about her at all until I picked up the comics. And now that I got it, I will have to keep following everything she does. I think there's 1-2 issue comic that I missed out on since I wasn't sure about the character, but I will have to go back and pick that up. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, good variety of artists, writers, creators that worked on this. Stu Taylor, Stephen Harris, Sophie Dodson, Josh Reed, Tamar Hussein, Gary Erskine, Yahgz Zamore, Robin Jones, Stu Taylor, Simon Fraser, Josh Reed. Those are everybody involved with those 3 stories. But yeah, lots of fun, lots of evil characters, and she's just out to kick ass and take names, which is fun. All right, our other friend that was on Crimson Color Comic Club creator, also part of the Cartoonist by Night, podcast is Troy Dungera, and he pretty much all the covers that he does I check out, and he did this for Rebel Girls, and I checked out this Rebel Girls comic, which also has another friend of the show that was on our podcast, Danny Harrell, which was another wonderful interview. So check that out. But yeah, the story was great, and you kind of got your female rock band or rock punk, a little mix of music, attitude, and stuff. But we're on the first issue, so we'll see where they go. But they're trying to get their feet off the ground, become something. There's someone that wants to help them become that something, and while they're doing that, there's demonic entities that are involved in the musical plane and everything that's going on, and spirits, and it's just a really fun story. It was way more enjoyable than I planned. I When I was first getting it, I didn't think it was going to be as fun as it ended up being. So definitely check it out. Was a surprise to me, and I'm glad that we came across it because of people that we hooked up with through our podcast, and ended up doing things that ended up making me want to get certain covers and certain issues, and then eventually falling into more of them. As you can see, there is a huge variety of covers for this one. I think I only picked out 3 of them this time. And then, of course, blanks. And then the pink blanks, I don't have them up here with me, but Troy Dungera did a couple sketch covers for me. And issue 2, I think, is going to have a blue blank cover. And I already got 2 characters. I want him to do sketch covers on those if he does. So we will have more of those to show off in the future, but you can always check those out on my unpackings. But Spirit World, we got issue 3 and issue 4. We have our female on the cover there that's got her special paper powers where she can have an image drawn on her little papers that she burns, and when she burns them, whatever the image is becomes reality. Like she has her sword that she brings out a few times. We have Batgirl and Constantine hanging with her, and they're trying to get through this demon world, demon realm, and we got lots of other fun characters that she knows, family members and stuff like that, and other characters that they come across. And then we have the evil spirits that are after. They're like, hey, we can smell. There's real humans here. And it's like, let's go get some. But yeah, that's a wonderful run. I'm so glad. I think I picked up number 1 for a certain cover, and then fell in love with the character, and I'm really glad I did. So, and I was surprised to see Batgirl and Constantine joining up with her and stuff. We got Tank Girl All Stars. I've read these before and picked them up again because I didn't recognize this cover, and I got signed by him and placed an order with Tank Girl crew overseas, and got a variety of fun things that you can see on the unpacking. But yeah, you get lots. It's just a variety of fun Tank Girl stories in here. You get posters, you get little poems. There's a double part of it. The one there, it's a double-sided poster in each issue, and just fun ads, extra information, goodies about Tank Girl. Oops, I showed a naked butt. Oh, nudity! But yeah, that's a blast. I love Tank Girl. I will read everything in my hands on about that. Unstoppable, blah, 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 blah. Unstoppable Doom Patrol #5 or #4. I think this was originally supposed to be a 5-issue run. It's already been bumped up to 7. Limited series. Yeah, limited series if it keeps going further and further. But yeah, we got our character here that's kind of a therapist. She's sitting down with all the different Doom Patrol peeps and going into their brains, learning about things, learning about stuff from their past and their history. And it's fun catching up. This feels like when they add issues to a run, this feels like one of the added issues that they threw in for filler, uh, because it's mostly focuses on all the characters and going to a therapist and getting therapy uh, work done. But still a wonderful issue, so it worked out good. Where other ones I've seen were, you can tell when they're a filler issue. And it's like, well, why did you even extend it if you're just going to throw this kind of crap in here? But yeah, that was well worth it. I got Warlock Rebirth. This is the final one? No, 4. Issue 4. I believe 5 will be the final one, so this is the penultimate. Daredevil and Spidey hanging out here in the beginning. Nice little back and forth with them. And then we get to the Pip and the gang and Doctor Strange and all them, and they're trying to figure out what's up with Adam Warlock and this new Warlock character, this female Warlock they gotta deal with. And they're in a different realm, and they're battling away, trying to figure out each other. Now, I'm reviewing #4 here, but I think I reviewed #5 a week or so 2 ago, and then I came across this, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, hey, these two did something already that I know about. Why is it back in time? And I'm like, oh no, I must have had my stack because I was so behind on comics. I must have had the old on top of the new on top of the old. And yeah, but still enjoyable. Either way, I enjoyed the story. We got Weird Work. This is #2, issue 2. Mobsters being blown away in the streets. Invisible assassins lurking at crime scenes. A new power rising in the underworld. Detective Obra's sauce is in over his head, and that's before you get to the mystery of those 3 disparate dead bodies giving him a migraine. Each new discovery is bringing more questions and placing our detectives in further danger as they pound the streets looking for answers to a mystery that could shake the foundations of Stellar City as we know it. Yeah, this, if you caught my last review, I don't care for it. I think I pre-ordered the first 3, so I'm gonna get them no matter what. But we have this drug on the streets that kids and everybody's taking, and some of them get this giant head. It's like their brain expands, over expands. They're stuck that way from then on. And a lot of them, as you can see, laying on the ground, foam coming out of their mouth. A lot of them die after a certain amount of time. But they're hunting them down, trying to figure it out. And it's a detective novel. Sci-fi, alien detective style novel, but still did not grab me the way I was hoping. But if you're into those type of stories, you'll definitely enjoy it. It's a good story. It's a strong story, but it's just the characters aren't grabbing me, and it's not grabbing me. And then the final one we got is Yahgz. This is the Craynobi Tales by Art Baltazar, friend of the podcast. Some signings and some little images drawn in there. Will Yahgz be saved from the forces of evil? Join Kraby Craynobi and his son, Kraysky Craynobi, the future chosen one with the chosen nose, as well as their many friends and allies like Weezard the Wise Wizard, as they adventure through mythical lands to try to save the city of Yahgz and its people, the Yahgis. But our